Good morning. Today is Monday, November 18th. My name is Stacy Wood. I am a public information officer here with Buncombe County Government. Thanks for tuning in to today's community briefing. Today we will hear updates from FEMA as well as the city of Asheville. And to get us started, we will hear a report from Avril Pender, County Manager.
Good morning. Buncombe County residents can receive funding to make their homes more resilient through home projects that reduce the long-term risk and impacts of natural hazards such as floods, wildfires, and storms. Through this program, there are 3 homes or property projects, including elevation, home mitigation, reconstruction, and acquisition. Aspects of this program include raising the elevation of the home, foundation and new construction, and/or acquisition of the property. In all 3 programs, there is no cost to the homeowner. Applications are now open and can be submitted online. To apply online, complete the 5-minute grant information request. The link is in the chat, or you can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone. Online applications are open for a year. Update on debris. As of this morning, over 174,000 cubic yards of debris have been collected in Buncombe County. Currently, there are 39 trucks running in Buncombe County, removing debris from all zones in the county. The private property debris removal program is active with an official launch on Tuesday, November 19th. The online application option is live, and folks can call the One Buncombe call center with questions about debris. That number is 828-250-6100. Again, 828-250-6100. More information on this program will be provided tomorrow, where we will have our recovery partner, Tetra Tech, to provide an update on these applications and intake features. Our waste pro schedule for the week of November 18th. For Monday and Tuesday, Waste Pro will operate normal routes for household trash and recycling. Residents should use the transfer station or landfill if Waste Pro is unable to access them. For Wednesday through Friday, Waste Pro will operate normal routes for household trash and recycling in accessible locations. Waste Pro will also be located at the following locations for residents that are not able to access from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is for household bag trash only. On Wednesday, Hearts with Hands, 850 Warren Wilson Road, Swannanoa, at their Circle Drive near the entrance to Owen Park. On Thursday, Ingalls Fairview, that's at 225 Charlotte Highway. And on Friday at the North Buncombe Pool, 734 Clark Stopper Road in Weaverville. Moving to the Asheville Buncombe Rebuilding Together Grant Fund. For-profit businesses in Buncombe County and the city of Asheville are eligible to receive grants of up to $25,000 to support recovery expenses not covered by insurance or other funding sources. This grant funding opportunity is a collaborative effort between Buncombe County and the city of Asheville, as well as other private and public partners. Applications are open through November 27th and can be found at mountainbizworks.org/AB grants. That's mountainbizworks.org/AB grants. Applications are also available in Spanish. There's no annual revenue threshold for this grant. Eligible businesses must have fewer than 200 employees, and priority will be given to the most impacted areas and companies. Once again, to apply, visit mountainbizworks.org/AB grants. Water distribution laundry, and showers continue to be available to the community care stations. Our community care stations are open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As we move forward together, we want the community to know that the community care stations will remain in place for the time being. And lastly, a message from the Buncombe County Fire Marshal's office. Over the weekend, we had a fire caused by damaged lithium-ion batteries. Please notify your local fire departments if you believe that lithium-ion batteries that might have been exposed to flooding are in your home or garage, especially those found in devices such as e-bikes, golf carts, and electric vehicles. Lithium-ion batteries that have been exposed to possible damage need to be disposed of properly. Please place flood damaged lithium-ion powered products in metal or non-combustible tubs and keep at least 6 feet away from debris and structures. Do not put lithium-ion battery powered products in the storm debris pickup. Never put lithium-ion batteries inside garbage or recycling carts or bins. Again, you can contact the local fire departments with questions about safe handling of these batteries. And now we'll hear an update from FEMA from Mark O'Hanlon.
Good morning. I'm Mark O'Hanlon with FEMA, and we continue to work closely with our state and local partners to assist North Carolinians with their recovery. In North Carolina, FEMA has approved over $240 million to more than 133,000 households and individuals. And what that means in Buncombe County is that we've approved over $79 million to more than 52,000 households. FEMA is also providing multiple temporary housing solutions to meet individual needs. More than 4,800 households are checked into hotels and motels under the Transitional Sheltering Assistance Program at this time. What that means for Buncombe County is that 1,600 households are in Transitional Sheltering Assistance lodging. For those who need to register for FEMA assistance or have follow-up questions about your application process, there is a disaster recovery center in Buncombe County in the Asheville Mall. This location is accessible to bus routes, and it is open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. We also have mobile disaster recovery centers in the county, and currently we have one at the Buncombe County Sports Complex, and it is open today until 5 p.m. We're working with our state and county and local partners to identify more opportunities for mobile disaster recovery centers. And once those sites are identified, we will announce them to the public. For those who don't know, a disaster recovery center is a one-stop shop where survivors can meet face-to-face with FEMA representatives, apply for FEMA assistance, review your application, or receive referrals to other assistance from other federal agencies, state agencies, or local agencies in Buncombe County. The timeline to apply for individual assistance has been extended to January 7th, 2025. So please visit one of our DRC locations, go online at disasterassistance.gov, or please call 800-621-3362, 800-621-3362 to register with FEMA. FEMA is also hiring in Asheville, Durham, Hickory, or Raleigh in order to bring local community members in to be part of our FEMA team to support the Helene recovery. Applications are being accepted online. In order to do that, please go to usajobs.gov and please enter these specific keywords: FEMA, local hire, and enter the location as North Carolina. We would love to have you on our team supporting the community with their recovery. And this concludes my portion of the briefing, and I'll be followed by the City of Asheville.
Thank you, and good morning. My name is Deborah Campbell, and I serve as the City Manager of Asheville. As usual, I want to start by thanking everyone in the community for your continued support and your ongoing efforts to contribute to our community's recovery from Tropical Storm Helene. We are on day 54 of our emergency response and recovery efforts. As I mentioned last week, city staff have organized around an operational framework to respond to the short, medium, and long-term recovery needs of our community. The organizational structure includes 7 focus areas: housing, storm debris, economic recovery, water recovery, infrastructure, arts and cultural resources, and functional support, which includes cost recovery, community capacity building, administrative support, data, and communication. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., there will be a virtual City Council recovery update briefing where staff will share information on key progress made by many of our recovery support groups to date. The briefing will be streamed and available on the city's YouTube channel, which is accessible from the front page of the website at asheville.nc.gov. We hope you will follow along or watch the meeting at a time more convenient for you. It will be available on the city's YouTube channel and the Helene recovery page on the city's website at asheville.nc.gov/Helene. Today, I will share an update on our water distribution and mill sites and debris management, and just a little teaser. Once you hear Clay's update, I will close, as usual, expressing sincere gratitude. And now I will turn it over to our Water Resources Public Information Officer, Clay Chandler, to provide an update on our drinking water restoration efforts. Clay.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. All right, as we usually do, we'll start with turbidity at North Fork. Spent a lot of the last 24 hours under 14. This morning at 8 o'clock, the reading measured 14.5. So it finally got under 15. Looks like it's going to stay there. Looks like it's going to keep falling. So that's very good news. Friday or Thursday or Friday of last week, mentioned that the sampling process to begin lifting the boil water notice was going to happen this weekend. It did. Water Resources lab staff finished sampling the distribution system early Sunday morning. Those samples incubated for 18 hours and we got the results back this morning. They were all clear of E. coli and coliform, which will allow Water Resources to lift the boil water notice today. Sampling results confirm that the flushing process that began on October the 30th, when we were able to resume producing treated water, has turned the system over, and raw water has been replaced with treated water. Customers may resume normal usage of the water system. It is no longer advisable to use bottled water for consumption. Normal use for consumption and hygiene may resume. Because we do expect an initial increase in demand, Water Resources does encourage customers to temporarily avoid large volume activities like filling bathtubs, watering landscaping, filling swimming pools, and abnormally long showers. And yes, I fully realize that a lot of those activities are not happening this time of year anyway, like filling swimming pools. This does not apply to customers with plumbing installed before 1988, like it was before Helene. Flushing your cold water tap for 30 seconds to 2 minutes or until you feel that temperature change is still advised before gathering water for consumption. That applies to customers, especially with plumbing installed before 1988. That process should be followed daily. Toward that end, we've had more than 2,000 customers request kits to test their plumbing for the presence of lead. And we've added a link at the top of the water recovery page that will allow you to submit a request for one of those kits. That's to keep Brenna Cook, our compliance manager's phone from ringing off the hook, which it has done basically since late last week. For context, participation in our lead awareness program, which has been going on for a little more than 3 years now, we normally have about 5 requests in a month. And so in 4 days, 5 days, we've received 2,000. That is very, very good. The data from that sampling will prove invaluable as we move forward. We are so grateful to our lab testing staff who did yeoman's work collecting samples, including almost 100 taken on Saturday alone. All told, more than 1,000 samples have been taken throughout the distribution system in the last couple of weeks, and it literally took an army of people to pull that off. Our gratitude also extends to our partners here at the city, the state, federal level, and our partners in the private sector. Without every single one of them, today would not have been possible. We are especially thankful to our customers for their patience. We understand that an initial disruption in water service, followed by not having potable water out of the tap, was disruptive and frustrating, and we thank you for hanging in there with us. That's it for me today. I know you'll have questions after. For now, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Campbell.
I know that wasn't for me. That's for Clay, right? Okay, I got it. So I'm going to quickly get through this because I know that you all are going to have a lot of questions of Clay and possibly even Brenna. So now I'll provide an update on water and meal distribution sites in the city of Asheville. As of this morning, our sites have distributed more than 3.5 million bottles and 1 liter cartons of drinking water, 22,400 gallon jugs of potable water, 255,000 gallons of non-potable water, 218 meals ready to eat, and 2,600 blankets for warmth. And those were approximate numbers. We are maintaining distribution sites from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Pack Square Park, 70 Court Plaza, Skylines Bowling Alley, 1477 Patton Avenue, Linwood Crump Shallow Community Center, 121 Shallow Road. And again, the Shallow location has bottled and cartons of water and MREs, but no bulk water. Additionally, community care stations are located with distribution sites at 980 Brevard Road in the at-home store parking lot, 85 Tunnel Road in the Innsbrook Mall parking lot. These operating hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Both locations have ADA accessible showers and restrooms. And this week, we were able to add televisions where information and media briefings are displayed all day long. So that was last week, we were able to do that. Storm debris. As end of day, November 16th, debris contractors had collected approximately 89,000 cubic yards of storm debris in the city of Asheville. This is equal to about 40 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Work is still focused on public right-of-way cleanup, and we continue to encourage all residents and businesses of Asheville to sort debris appropriately and move storm debris to the curb. Today, the contractor will have 30 trucks running in Asheville. The zones will be as follows: 1 in Zone 1, West Asheville; 1 in Zone 2, West Asheville, north of Haywood Road; 7 in Zone 3, which is downtown; 7 in Zones 4 and 5, North and Northeast Asheville; 6 in Zone 6 in East Asheville; and 8 in Zone 7 and 8, which is Southeast and South Asheville. Debris collection will continue across the city, including in city-owned parks, until all storm debris in the right-of-way and on public property has been collected. And in closing, the lifting of the boil water notice is an incredible milestone in our recovery. It took an extraordinary effort to get to this day, and I want to thank our community first for your patience. Whether it was temporarily turning off the water supply to your water heaters, flushing pipes, or enduring multiple boil water notice AVL alerts to your phones. Your participation made a difference in getting our water system back online. I would also like to extend my deepest gratitude to our water department employees under the leadership of the department director, David Melton. This team has worked tirelessly around the clock to make repairs and implement measures to address the challenges we face restoring this system. Their work has been remarkable, and that is not an understatement. And I'd also like to thank Assistant City Manager Ben Woody, who supports this department from the City Manager's office. Ben was our first messenger who eloquently communicated about the damage to our water system. And I'd like to offer a huge amount of gratitude and thank you to Clay Chandler and the communications team who has supported him. Clay has taken complex technical information and distilled it down into plain language. This allowed the community to follow along and understand our challenges, opportunities, and progress being made in a transparent manner. The Water Resources team was also supported by a number of city departments, partners from other water utilities, FEMA, and the Army Corps of Engineers. We would not be where we are today without this collaborative effort. I'd like to extend my continued thanks to the mayor and city council, all of our dedicated City of Asheville employees, our other partners in the county, state, and federal government, as well as our private and nonprofit partners who continue to help support our community's recovery efforts. We have a long way to go, though, but as you can see, we are making steady progress. Collaboration and partnerships will be a critical part of our recovery, and we will build back better. Thank you. Stacy?
Okay. Before we open it up to questions from media partners, just a heads up that the Red Cross is providing free emergency supplies at the community care stations. These supplies include blankets, water, collapsible water bottles, tarps, meals, both hot meals and shelf-stable meals, baby food, sleeping bags, butane, and other supplies. These are all available for free at the community care stations throughout the city and county. And with that, we will open it up to questions from our media partners.
Good morning. Hey, Stacy.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations. And this question is for Clay. So Clay, even in our newsroom, we have some colleagues with families that are very concerned about this general discussion regarding lead. Obviously, you've gotten some feedback with 2,000 requests for tests. Can you try to just give us, like you've been doing, a one-on-one on should people be concerned, and what is the level of lead in some of those tests that you found for the schools? And I think you mentioned private property, but I'm not sure if that was maybe conflated with the public schools from last week. Thanks.
Yeah, is this Kim with WLOS?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we tested or sampled for lead and copper on the private side of our system. That means plumbing that is owned by our customers. And when we tested at the schools, and again, the schools did absolutely nothing wrong. That water had been sitting in that pipes for almost 3 weeks. And the surest way to get a detectable level of lead is to let water sit in pipes, especially older plumbing, for an extended period of time. That's, flushing works, like I just mentioned a minute ago. If your plumbing was installed before 1988, especially, you need to flush your whatever faucet you're gathering water out of for consumption for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, or until you feel that temperature change. Our source water last week, we had our latest lead sample come back negative again. I'll repeat, we have never had a detectable level of lead in our source water. And those are on paper records that we have in our possession going back 1991. And somewhere archived are records that go farther back even than that. I hope that assuages people's fears that they may have. I've already had tap water for consumption this morning. I think Brenna has already had tap water for consumption this morning. I made at least one pot of coffee with it. I have a 40-ounce water bottle right now that is full of it. And that isn't going to change anytime soon.
I think the concern for folks is they maybe not large number of people didn't realize this in their own homes. So just, I know you can't go test by test, but is there any kind of thing that you could explain to the public about, should they be very concerned if they have pipes after 1988? And obviously they can get it tested, but what are those tests showing in the ones that came back? And when you say private property, is that just the public schools or also homes, residential homes in the area?
That's homes, that's businesses, that's everything on the customer side of the meter. I can tell you that Water Resources is not concerned about lead presence in our distribution system. Again, if your plumbing was installed before 1988, or if you want to test it, even if it was installed after 1988, please do that. We've had customers who are building houses right now request a lead kit, and we're giving it to them. There is absolutely no concern on our end about the presence of lead in our distribution system, none whatsoever.
Clay, this is John Boyle with Asheville Watchdog. I have a couple of questions for you. On the on the lead issue, are y'all back to your regular anti-corrosion treatment?
Yes, have been for almost 3 weeks now.
Okay. On the turbidity issue, because that's obviously been a discussion for a long time, and y'all were looking for 1.5 to 2 for a long time, but clearly you can process water that's more turbid. What is the turbidity of the water that is going out into people's taps?
After it goes through our filtration and treatment system, just like 0.01, right around there.
So the water people are
0.1, John, not 0.01, 0.1. Sorry about that.
0.1. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the water going out.
That's normal. That's what it is under normal circumstances. Before Helene, it kind of hovered around 0.1.
Right. So it won't have any discoloration or anything when it reaches people's
No.
homes. Okay. All right. And then going back to the flushing, I'm a little confused on that. You said the flushing began October 30th. My impression was that it wasn't going to take place for a couple of weeks here, that because I don't recall you announcing y'all had begun flushing.
Well, we weren't sure. We weren't sure until we were able to get a sufficient number of samples, whether the treated water we started pushing into the system, the volume was going to be enough to turn the system over. I think it became clear that it had turned the system over late last week, Thursday, Friday, right around there. And the samples taken this weekend kind of confirmed that. We had no positives on E. coli or coliform at any of the distribution stations the sample stations that we pulled from throughout the distribution system. And again, that's not just this weekend. Since October the 30th, we have taken thousands of samples that have come back negative for E. coli and coliform.
Okay, I think just people think flushing, they think, open fire hydrants everywhere, but that wasn't going on, was it?
We did it. We didn't do it. We didn't have to do it at the volume that we thought we were going to. We have been opening hydrants here and there as this process has been ongoing. And that has proven sufficient to turn the system.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's kind of more of a replacement of the water that was in the system with the clear water.
That's the perfect way to describe it. Yes, all of the raw water that initially was pushed into the system has been replaced by treated water.
Gotcha. And the boil water notice, is that lifted immediately?
It's going to be lifted as soon as I can leave here, get back to my office, and send the AVL alert.
All right. And then my last question, I swear, and I think Kim was trying to get at this. The lead testing results, how long does that take to get back? And have y'all gotten results back? And what do they show?
We have not gotten any results back from the customer kits, and those are going to be a little bit delayed. It generally takes between 4 and 6 weeks to get those results back.
Okay,
That's
thank
way
you.
slower than, normally when we do our compliant testing for DEQ, our primary regulatory agency, those results come back within a couple of weeks, 2 weeks-ish, something like that. But these results for the customers, because there are so many of them, are going to take 4 to 6 weeks turnaround.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Clay. It's Laura at BPR.
Morning, Laura.
Morning. Can you just tell us a little bit about on the sort of supply and demand, the volume that you're pushing out at North Fork and at Mills River? And I'm thinking in particular about the mention of the fire this morning that, whether or not you all have sufficient sort of excess when that demand goes up to meet unexpected needs like that.
Sure. So I think right before I got here, North Fork was around 19 million gallons a day demand. It had a little bit of a jump this morning. That's not out of the ordinary. Mills River is kind of living in its sweet spot between 3.5 and 4 million gallons of water a day. So let's just say right now, North Fork is pushing out 19, Mills River is pushing out 3.5. That's about 22.5 million gallons per day demand right now. Now that demand fluctuates at different parts of the day. Again, especially early morning, people start getting up and stuff like that. Usage goes up and it kind of flattens off later in the day and picks back up late in the evening. But we're comfortable that North Fork can produce 25 million gallons a day if it needs to. So far, it has not needed to. Demand has not gotten to that point.
Right. And so I guess bottom line, you feel comfortable that even if demand, because of a fire or something else bumped up considerably or continued usage, bottom line, you feel like you all have enough water to meet all of that.
Yeah, if the data that we have didn't make us feel comfortable that we could meet the demand through an event like that, we would not be doing what we're doing today.
And do you anticipate, I know this was like a month's worth of testing in a 2-day period. Can you talk about what the testing will look like going forward?
That's probably going to be a Brenna question. And she is here. Laura's asking what testing is going to look like moving forward compared to what it has been the past few weeks.
Testing moving forward for the raw water will continue through the end of this week. And then we'll probably go back to our normal schedule. We sample once a week for the iron, aluminum, manganese. We test for bacteria every day, no matter what, on our raw water and our finished water. Is there any other thing you were specifically looking for, Laura?
No, I just knew you all did a very high volume this weekend, and I wondered if that was something that you had to do repeat testing on, or if that's it, and you can kind of go back to normal. So it sounds like the latter. Did you have the results yet? I know there were some of those tests that were sent out with a longer turnaround period. Not the bacteria ones that were done this weekend, but the other ones. Are those results coming soon?
They're coming in slowly but surely, and we're updating them on the website as soon as they come in.
Thanks, Brenna.
I have 2 follow-up questions for Brenna.
Before we get to her, let me add one thing. Under normal circumstances, our average daily demand kind of lifts between 20 and 25 million gallons a day. That's system wide. So we are exactly where we should be right now with North Fork pushing out around 19 and Mills River pushing out 3.5 to 4, 22, 23. That's about where we normally are.
We have some questions from social media, Brenna. One of them is about the corrosion control agent, the zinc orthophosphate. Will having that corrosion control back in the water system reverse any damage done from the time where we did not have water flowing?
I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know how much damage. The reason I can't answer that confidently is I don't know if it would have caused damage or not for the days that we are. But I do know that what zinc orthophosphate is designed to do is to reduce corrosion control. I'm not sure about the repair.
And are we still highly chlorinating our water?
No, we're back to chlorinating where we are normally. We usually feed at this time of year 1.8 to 2 parts per million. And we're feeding around 2 parts per million right now.
Okay, well, this is excellent news. Thanks to everyone for your efforts to keep the community updated. We will go ahead and conclude today's briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Oh, sorry, that was the question. Will we continue these briefings through the week now that the boil water notice is lifted?
Yes, I'm getting the affirmative from County Manager Pender. Yes, we will continue the daily briefings, and we will for sure keep you posted on any schedule changes as those develop. Are there any other questions? Okay, so we will we will wrap up the briefing today, and if you have questions about debris or any Helene related resources, you can call the One Buncombe Call Center. That number is 828-250-6100. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.